In this video we will come around 4 common smoke mistakes that I often see CSGO players do. Let me know in the comments if you do some of them or are aware of other mistakes that we can learn from. The first mistake is that you think you should know all lineups on all maps. Players do often think they should know all the lineups related to various strategies, but as there are hundreds of smoke lineups across all maps, it's fairly impossible and really unnecessary to know and remember all of them. There is some advantage in knowing more than just the basic smokes, as it gives more variety to your team's playstyle and opens up some more possibilities for confusing your enemy. But in most cases this is only relevant for the pros and semi-pro players, not to say that it isn't fun to learn and use some rare and advanced smokes in your own game. Another thing is, you also have to remember that there are lineups for other grenades such as pop flashes and afterplant mollies, so to give all your attention to memorize and remember the smokes isn't the right choice. So how many lineups should you know? There is no exact answer for this. Instead, you should think of learning new smokes along your road of grinding to higher skill levels, and knowing that when you practice and use smokes while playing competitive matches, you will naturally build up your smoke count and improve the memory that is necessary for recalling the lineups. So, if you don't know that many lineups, start with the basic smokes and move your way up to the more advanced ones. If you're a serious player, it's an important part of your training to regularly go into a server and practice new smokes and keep up with old ones. This leads us on to the next mistake, which is that you don't regularly keep up with your smokes. It's important to keep up with the smokes you already know, because sometimes even small map changes can have an influence on where the smoke lands. For most smokes, it's also important to make sure that you aim at the exact same spot each time, especially for the more advanced smokes. Because in the hectic match moments, there is a risk that players miss out on the aiming point and leave the enemy with an advantage if the smoke doesn't land perfectly. And when you are in a match, you can't check if the smoke lands exactly where you intended to land. So if you keep up with your smoke lineups, you will make sure to never fail a smoke in important moments. I'm curious about how much time you guys spend practicing smokes, both for learning new ones and keeping up with the old ones. So let me know in the comments. The next mistake is that you use too many smokes early in the round. The usefulness of smokes early in the round should not be underestimated, as it can prevent rushes or used to come through center areas for the purpose of gaining map control. But if you don't have any smokes for the late round, you will be in a more vulnerable position, especially if your team doesn't have as many players alive. If you have remaining smokes for the late round and manage to use them correctly, it can really have a big impact on whether your team wins the round. If the terrorists have planted the bomb, they can use smokes to block off entrances to the bomb site to make it a lot harder for the CTs to retake. On the other hand, if you play as a CT, you can try to smoke off the bomb before you start defusing. This will fairly often result in a successful defuse, as the terrorists can't see from which side of the bomb you are sitting and they fail to spray you down. The last mistake is that you do not calculate the duration time into your decision making. Duration time is an important metric to consider, as it gives a clue on how far you can move without being seen by the enemy, and with a total time of 18 seconds before the smoke fade away, you can actually move further than you think. The total duration time gives many opportunities to set yourself in some advantageous positions, or rotating to other areas of the map while the enemy might think you are close to them. To calculate the duration time into your decision making is a hard task when you're in a game, because there are many other things to consider, but with practice this can really pay off on a higher level. That was it for now, guys. I really want to hear from you if you have any experience with these mistakes, so leave a comment and let me know.